This episode is brought to you by Shopify. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take your business to the next level. Shopify is the commerce platform that makes it easy to show up and sell exactly the way you want to. No need to code or design. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period today. Visit shopify.com/offer23 to get started.
There's a change happening in the way we live, the way we work, the way we spend our money and make our decisions. We are evolving to be more conscious in our actions in a way that serves the world and makes it a better place. Welcome to the Ethical Evolution. The Ethical Evolution podcast is brought to you by Ethical Change Agency. I'm Bindi, I'm the founder, and my mission is to help ethical entrepreneurs and holistic healers to find their voice through spiritual coaching and podcasting. I'm honoured to bring you the stories of those who create change through healing, kindness, innovation, purpose, and spirit. Understanding that to create collective change, we need to be the change. It all begins with us. Before opening her own firm, Shihadeh Law, Jodie Shihadeh was a partner at the Davis firm, where she negotiated deals at the highest level for global superstar recording artists, music producers, songwriters, television personalities, management and production companies, professional athletes, and business executives in all areas of the entertainment industry. Jodie was recently featured in Billboard magazine's 2020 Top Music Lawyers and Variety Dealmakers Elite NYC 2018 for her skillful deal making. Join me as we explore what it's really like to be an entertainment lawyer in LA, working with pop stars every day to protect their interests whilst dealing with the impacts of technology and copyright. Welcome, Jodie, to the Ethical Evolution.
It's so nice to be here, Bindi. Thanks for having me.
Now, for those people who don't know who you are and what you do, can you go ahead and tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Jodie Shihadeh. I'm an entertainment attorney based in Los Angeles, and I run my own law firm called Shihadeh Law PC. And we represent talent and artists and creators in the music and entertainment space.
Now, no doubt you would see a lot of things in your work, a lot of things. But you would also get a lot of people who run to LA seeking fame, get caught up in some things. If someone is looking to do that, what's your advice for them?
Just make sure that you have a good team around you. The entertainment industry is one where you can literally have overnight fame and success, and you definitely want to make sure that you've got a really supportive team around you, whether that's a manager, a lawyer, an agent, a business manager to watch over your money, and then from the professional perspective, that's your core team. And so definitely make sure that you've got that in place with people that are looking out for you and, keeping an eye on what is the best decision for you to be making to protect yourself right now and then protect your career in the years to come.
And no doubt you'd be hearing a lot of the buzz at the moment around the writers' strike and SAG-AFTRA, union and all that kind of stuff there at the moment. No doubt you're probably getting some calls from people in that space right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I represent talent. So to me, this is, affects my clients very much. Most of my clients are predominantly music artists and, but everything in entertainment's related. There's a lot of discussion about how, songwriters can strike and use their types of platforms to do essentially what SAG-AFTRA's members are doing right now. And so we're all watching what's happening. As a representative for talent, I'm rooting for them. I think that it's time to make sure that the proper deals are in place so that people are able to earn a living doing what it is that they love and help create art for everyone to consume.
And there's a lot of, posts I'm seeing in social media in particular. I think it was one of the stars from Orange is the New Black was actually complaining on the residuals that they get from, like, you know, streaming from Netflix. Like, we were talking mere cents, you know, and they actually made Netflix what they are. And they're getting virtually, like, they're famous, but they have to have 3 or 4 jobs to survive because they're not getting paid. Like, how can someone who's got that much fame not have the fortune to go with it?
You know, it's a great question, and it's one that I deal with on a regular basis. It's the deals that are in place with the Copyright Act specifically for songwriters, where I see this a lot. It's the same issues that songwriters are having right now with music, because right now, you know, the streaming royalties are so pale in comparison to the royalties that would be generated from radio station play or sales of physical CDs or records. And, you know, just the fact that streaming is the predominant way that consumers, you know, listen to music these days, we're facing absolutely that same issue. You know, the fact is that it's based on contract negotiation. It's about, you know, what are the DSP contracts award songwriting, publishing royalties? Same issue that, you know, someone like you mentioned is facing with, you know, Netflix and the streaming participation that they get for their work. These are all negotiations. These are all contracts that are negotiated. So all of these concepts and all of these issues right now are very pertinent for every creator in the industry.
And I myself have experienced it too, Jodie, because I'm actually a voiceover narrator and also a music producer. So yeah, when you sell you know, a song and you're making mere sense out of it, you're just like, wow, you know, like just wow. And also there's different deals and contracts you can get where you get paid up front rather than getting residuals. So sometimes you've got to weigh up, is it like what's going to be the better deal for me here? And really getting that advice is really critical at that point. You can get so excited and sign a contract and, whoa, I'm in Hollywood and all this kind of thing. Yeah. Which has happened to me. And then I kind of went, I've really got to pull this apart before I sign anything. And so that is probably the most important part, is not to get all stuck in the excitement. It's actually to do your due diligence, isn't it?
Exactly. Absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest things for me as a lawyer is when I get a client that has signed a deal that hasn't been properly reviewed, hasn't been properly negotiated and explained to them. And what it actually means is that they've signed away rights that they never intended to, or they're stuck in this deal for years and years to come, and the relationship isn't working out. And so, you know, it's just everything's gone south. And so, yeah, it's what you're saying, that instinct that kicks in, that you say, oh, I need to really make sure I understand what it is that I'm signing. I mean, that's the goal for every contract negotiation that happens, you know, with us and for my clients.
And on the flip side, you know, those people who get it right, that are actually making the money, you know, like when we look at some of the big pop stars, like say Britney, people like that, who become literally an overnight sensation, and the money is like just insane.
It's insane.
They've got to be able to manage that end of it as well, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, and a lot of the people that experience this type of success, they're not coming from, you know, very large means. And so this is not only life-changing money, but it overnight can really change your whole sense of self. And, you know, to go from struggling for money and then all of a sudden you've literally got millions of dollars in your bank account. I mean, just to sit and process that and that type of change and how quickly it manifests for you in your, you know, daily life, you know, and that's something where, you know, making sure that you have a good team around you that's really watching out for you, that's experienced with this level of success. So you know, it's not new to them, you know, it might be new to you, but it's not new to them. And so to make sure that you have your protections in place and, you know, are putting away money, you know, for years to come, because as a creator, and I've seen this with many people over the course of my career, you go through, you know, peaks and valleys creatively. It's natural. And so to make sure that you have some passive income, some, you know, multiple investments that help you get through those times so that you can rejuvenate, you can refresh and come back with, your new chapter of creativity. Not having taken a big financial hit through it is very, very important.
And we see so many that, literally have millions fall in their lap, and then within no time it's gone, and they're like, God, what happened to it? They've made a dodgy business deal and it's just gone.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really keeping your eyes open, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's a fast industry. It's a exciting industry. It changes lives overnight, and it's all about making sure that you're keeping your bearings about you, and keeping your eyes, yourself focused, your eyes on the prize, and not getting distracted by everything that the industry can offer you.
And you must have to be like up with all the latest trends and technology as well, Jodie, because, in the music industry, it changes so rapidly, like what TikTok has done to the music industry has been incredible. And, just what AI is now doing to people who use their voice in any way or music is really incredible. How do you stay on top of that so that you can protect people?
This episode is brought to you by Dave, a banking app that's leveling the financial playing field. Because when you download Dave, you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No credit check, no late fees. It's part of Dave's Extra Cash account. Advance the money you need with no interest and then settle up later. Download Dave today at dave.com/Spotify. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Eligibility criteria and instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve, member FDIC.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a number of trade magazines, that we stay abreast on. A lot of legal newsletters, like the Copyright Society, a lot of other publications that talk about just changes in the law that we should be aware about. And then I have a team that goes through and reviews, these types of publications each week on the internet, and then prepares a newsletter so that we can, all of us at the firm can be actively digesting and keeping abreast of all of these types of changes.
Yeah,
it's exciting and it's a lot.
Yeah, I've actually got an agent in New Zealand for voiceover work, and they've been keeping us up to date on what's happening with AI. And you may be aware of the famous case of the woman who had her voice stolen and used through AI through TikTok, and was one of the voices that they use for AI generated stuff. And she took them to court and she won.
Yeah, and I think we'll see a lot of those types of cases. We've seen a lot of music with, for instance, there was an instance with Drake having that same type of issue. And just as lawyers, staying on top of it, making sure that, the laws are evolving to protect clients in that type of situation, and also getting a hold of an incident like that before it becomes so big that it is generating money that your client's not participating in. I have a lot of thoughts on AI and what it can do for the business. But certainly as a lawyer, that is one of the risks involved with AI, and just trying to keep, ahead of all of the changes that it could mean for my clients.
And no doubt trademark and copyright law are really prominent things that you would be dealing with every day. And, as a music producer, I often wonder, is there a finite number of songs that we can produce? There comes a point where some things start to sound the same. How do you help people through those kind of hurdles? Like we've seen, Ed Sheeran go through things, where his song sounded so much like another song, but he actually won the case. Like, how do you get people through those kind of cases?
So that's a very specific question. I think that with the Ed Sheeran case, what was really brilliant about that, which is very hopeful for me in seeing future cases being brought like that claiming copyright infringement, is that, the experts are really able to hone in on what exactly was the plaintiff trying to say was infringement. Was it just a general melodic structure, which is not covered by copyright law or not protected by copyright? Or was it something specific of that original song that they said Ed infringed on? And the industry right now is, because of how successful it is just ripe for all sorts of frivolous claims being filed. And unfortunately, my clients have to, fend off their fair share of them. But, really what is so important about that type of counsel and advice that I provide is, one, looking at the basis of the claim being brought, who's bringing it, how, is it based on merit? Do they have any sort of credence to bring this type of claim? And if so, then we've got to establish whether or not it makes financial sense for the client to fight this in the courts, where you're not sure what type of judge you're going to be getting. You're not sure what the jury's going, the jury can be so unpredictable. And so in order to, there's a lot of risk involved with taking cases to court. So as a transactional attorney, because I don't handle those types of cases personally, my goal is always for a client to just continue to be able to move along in their careers, continue to make money, continue to put their music out there. And does this potential claim impact them from doing so? And if it does, is it worth fighting? And maybe my client feels really strongly about, they have a zero tolerance policy for these types of frivolous claims. They're not going to be paying out any sort of settlement money. They did not infringe or do anything that this plaintiff is alleging he did. In which case, then we find the best litigator and we go to battle. It really is very client specific. And, some clients are, pay them a little bit of money. Let's put this to bed. Let's keep moving. And so it really is based on the case at hand and the client and their nature.
Yeah. And, just as you were talking, Jodie, I was wondering, I was just imagining the kind of clients that you see every day, and that most of us would, envy you're even getting to spend time with. For you, what's been the highlight in your career so far?
Starting my firm. I started practicing as a lawyer just to do this type of work. And I went to law school just to represent artists and musicians and to work with creatives. I never wanted to actually be a professional creative, but I knew that I was predestined to work in that space. I discovered that you could be an entertainment lawyer and represent artists. And I just thought that was such a perfect blend of interest for me. And so I went to law school and learned how to do this. I interned all throughout law school. And I started my career in New York at a boutique entertainment law firm. And I was there for 9 years and I had become a partner, and I had built up a really great book of business at that time. And, COVID was happening and everyone's facing these really life altering decisions about, if they want to stay where they live or move, and, they want to stay in the careers that they're in. And, having that type of stress and world event makes you really, take stock of your life. And I thought, I come from a long line of entrepreneurs in my family, and I thought, I know how to do this. I'm going to start my own law firm. I've got a great local business. My clients all believe in me and they all came with me. And, so that was really such a huge part for my career. And that was absolutely the highlight. And being able to grow a business that is molded the way that I want it to be, with the lawyers and the team on board who are all incredibly positive, hardworking people and really passionate about client service and working with musicians. That has just been so rewarding. And to have that type of really strong team morale and, be able to do that every day together is absolutely just the best part of my career right now.
You're living the dream.
Yeah. Knock on wood. Yes.
And, it's interesting. Do you think that COVID changed the music industry?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, it pulled back, the curtain on a lot of things, simultaneously, the murder of George Floyd occurred, and because of the fact that our industry has so many minorities as creators, there was a real reckoning to make sure that the business of music was fair, and that there was a diverse representation of executives in the business from all backgrounds. And there was a real emphasis on looking at these old deals that were in place from the 40s, the 50s, when you're doing deals with blues artists and jazz artists and all these old songwriters, and making sure that, those deals were made right, and to make sure that these creators and their estates were getting royalties paid for the work that these people had made. And, so I think that combined in COVID was, a really positive step for the industry. Absolutely. That's definitely one of the highlights, at least from the world experiencing that.
And we all felt the ripple of, artists not being able to tour anymore. I think that was a huge thing financially for the industry. But that's obviously kicked back off again now and is just going gangbusters. Like we've got all the big stars coming down here at the moment, so it's exciting.
I know. Yeah, I know. Some of my clients are going to New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, I think we got Lizzo here at the moment, and I know I've got tickets to Evanescence next month, so I'm super looking forward to that. So, but there's so much that you would have to be across in a day. How do you gain the trust of an artist after things like COVID and all the copyright and trademark law stuff that's going on? How do you gain the trust of someone who's really famous and has a lot of money, and you wanna be their trusted source?
That's a great question. I think it really comes down to just being honest and transparent with them, and not being afraid to say the bad news about a deal that they might have in place or that's being offered to them, and saying, these are the pros, these are the cons, making sure that they understand it. And then saying, ultimately, you're the boss, it's your decision. So if you do want to move forward with this, I will fight like hell to make sure you get the best deal possible. But these are my red flags and my concerns. Some deals are, it's probably happened maybe twice or three times in my entire career where I say, I feel very strongly that you should not be doing this deal for these reasons, and this is why. And I'm very uncomfortable doing this deal for you. And I think just having that type of open and honest communication is what builds that trust. I'm a lawyer that my model is I am allergic to conflicts. If there's a conflict, and that can be, rampant in this business. And, if there's any sort of conflict, I will be very vocal about it, and to make sure that they understand who I'm representing and why I'm not representing this other company or this other party. And, I think that really helps as well. Just knowing that I am in this for them, for that client, and advocating my hardest on their behalf and for no one else's. And for them to know that I'm their lawyer and they have me as a trusted source, and they can call me and text me with, whatever they're worried about, and that I will be there for them and provide objective, unbiased advice. And then from my track record of who I've worked with and what I've done for the years, that speaks for themselves, that I actually know what I'm saying.
And I don't know whether, it's a privacy thing or not, Jodie, but are you able to share some of the names that you've represented?
Instacart helps you get beer and wine delivered in as fast as an hour. So, whether you need to fill the cooler for tailgate season or fill your glass for Pinot by the fire season, you can save time by getting fall sips delivered in just a few clicks. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Must be 21 or over for alcohol delivery where available. Instacart. Add life to cart.
My clientele is a mix of artists and producers and songwriters that you hear on pop radio or the dance charts. And, they've either I have producers and songwriters that have made some of the biggest hits for Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion. I have other global international artists that are really big, in Spain and Jamaica, and also, becoming very big here in the U.S. And, anyone that you've heard of, my clients are either them or they've touched on working with them.
Everyone's so connected in this industry. I've learnt since stepping into it. So it's, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's connected somehow.
Yes.
And speaking of that, Jodie, do you represent any podcast producers?
I certainly advise podcast, hosts and, people who own and run podcasts. Yeah, absolutely. To me, it's all related. It's all entertainment.
And it's give
me a call if you ever need anything.
I will. I think I'm going to have to talk to you because, it's an industry that's really taking off. People were like, oh, yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. But it's actually changing the face of the music industry and the entertainment industry.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, to me, it's all related. It's brands, it's influencers, it's celebrities, it's sponsorship opportunities, anything that you are presenting yourself to an audience, that it's all in some ways the same. So there's a lot of overlap in the types of deals that happen.
Yeah, we better talk, Jodie, I think.
Yes, give me a call.
So for those people listening who are really interested in what you do and maybe they're in entertainment and they want to get in touch with you and find out more about what you do, where can they go?
They can reach me at, you have a Instagram handle, Shihadeh Law. You can also reach out to me at, we have a general email info at shihadehLaw.com that our team monitors, and, check out our Instagram and all the other work that I've done, like podcasts and articles and everything. And that's the best way.
Amazing. Now I got the last big question for you, Jodie. What's the change you'd like to see in the world and how can we bring it to life?
Where do we start? Living in LA, I would definitely say we really all collectively need to focus on the environment and climate change and do something incredible to help change the course of where this earth is headed. And then once we can get that on track, then we can really try to focus on the other, massive humanity issues that we're facing. I would say, as a business owner and as a woman, and actually talking to you 8 months pregnant right now.
Congratulations.
I would say that we definitely need to in the U.S. Thank you. In the U.S., we've absolutely got to make some changes for women and women in the workplace, especially the fact that, this country doesn't have paid leave laws is outrageous, or federal paid leave protection is outrageous. And, just the fact, getting back to one of your earlier questions about one of the impacts of COVID, I mean, so many women had to leave the workspace during COVID. And why was that? And it's just to make sure that women and families and parents have support networks here in this country. And, of course, all of the inequality that's happening right now in the courts towards women. And, I think that we've definitely got a lot of work cut out for us, but we need a healthy planet in order to address that.
And that's a whole other podcast right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Open a big can of worms there.
Yeah. I keep telling everyone in LA, just come down here to Australia. We've got all that stuff covered. Just come down here. You can have maternity leave. You can be safe. Just come down here.
My husband is from New Zealand, so it's very, very tempting.
Yeah, no, it's like I've got so many friends in the US and they're like, you can't believe what it's like here. I'm like, I know, you should come down here. It's the absolute opposite.
You guys have very strict immigration laws, though, so we have to.
We do.
Requirements.
We do. But, once you get through, it's worth it. Trust me.
That is true. Yeah, it's like this little golden haven down there.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Jodie, I have loved every single minute with you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Ethical Evolution.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful to chat with you.
Thanks for listening to the Ethical Evolution podcast. If you're ready to be the change and would love to work with me on finding your voice through spiritual coaching or creating your own podcast with impact, visit ethicalchangeagency.com.
Introducing the Deep Leadership Podcast. Leadership is a people business. That's the philosophy of your podcast host, John Rennie. As a former submarine officer who spent 22 years leading businesses in corporate America before starting his own manufacturing business, he knows that leadership matters. Deep Leadership is real-world, actionable leadership advice from John and his expert guests. Become a leader worth following. Subscribe today.
Electricast. Hi, this is Megan Kane.
And this is Jason Zook.
And we're the hosts of Psychic Visions Podcast.
Have you ever experienced deja vu or wonder what life after death is like?
Or maybe you walked into an old building and got goosebumps or chills down your spine. Chances are you're having spiritual experiences without even realizing it.
Our show will cover a variety of topics from astral projection
to UFOs,
manifestation,
to the power of positive thinking and even healing energy. If this resonates with you, then this is your sign from the universe to check out our show.
Find us where all podcasts are available.
Psychic Visions, more than meets the eye.
Electricast. Electricast.